I would like to start this video by thanking Pulkit Bhai for arranging the tour for the Kinera Verdandi. This is a fairly expensive upper mid-range, or you can say lower high-end IEM priced at $1,200. It houses 6 drivers per side. It's a EST based IEM, so we get 2 EST for highs, 2 BA drivers, I believe, for the mid-range. There is one bone conduction driver for the extra bit of rumble and kind of you can say sub bass rumble, and one dynamic driver for the lower end. This is a fairly good looking IEM. You guys can see it's a very good looking IEM, very similar to the aviation that I had a few months ago, but this one is a bit more premium with gold flake and kind of stuff. If you guys will see, this is a fairly larger kind of IEM. The shell is fairly on the larger side. This is not small by a very good margin. You guys can see, yeah, this is fairly on the larger side. If you will compare it with my nails, so this is not very big, but the body is fairly on the larger side. The volume of this IEM is fairly on the bigger side. You guys can see this is not a small IEM, and the nozzle, I'll show you, is very long too, so no issues with the fit or anything like that. But the width of the nozzle is around 6 mm, and that can be a bit more uh, uncomfortable to those with smaller ears, narrower ear canals. This might be slightly difficult. Yes, this is not the stock tip or anything like that, but this one is giving me a better stability and better fit inside the ear. So I'm using Spin Fit CP100. I've been told that these are CP100. So yeah, I've been using this for this review. The stock tips are good. Finally, I tried finally tips, and those weren't that comfortable. The base was not that well defined, and there is something weird going on with this IM. This is a fairly good sounding IM. I'll not say this is a bad sounding IM, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So let's take a look at the cable here. This is a flash acoustic cable. I'm not exactly sure what is the price of this cable, the standalone cable, but this one looks like a $50, $70 cable. They say this is a silver copper mix cable. So yeah, it's a decent kind of cable, modular cable, modularity. Yeah, you guys can see this is a modular cable and looks nice, looks good, and complements the IEMs for sure. But the main problem that I have with this IEM is with the sound quality. I have heard a handful of Kinera IEMs by this day, and this one sounds like the Kinera non. Okay, that one was dry, thin, and a bit more uneven, and that is exactly what the Kinera Verdandi is. This is not a bad sounding IM, but yeah, this is a kind of a odd sounding IM. There are some issues with this IMs that I haven't encountered with most of the IMs. I was expecting a slightly more fuller, slightly more musical tuning for sure, but this one is not very high on details and is dry and kind of thin. So there is a bit of issue with this IM. And if we start with the bass, the bone conduction driver is working really hard. We get very good rumble, very good body, and heft that I hadn't experienced with IEMs in this price range. So there is very good heft. The rumble are good. I have no issues with that. But the problem is that there is no weight at the center, but the weight is at the outer part of the note. So yeah, the sub bass is good. It is fuller. It is voluminous. I like the feel of it, but the mid bass is not that full. That is where this tips come in. These tips kind of bring out a bit more mid bass for me. So I've been using this for this review. So yeah, the mid bass is not that voluminous. The area of impact is kind of constrained. There isn't a lot of movement. It is tighter. It is not moving plenty of air. Okay, I was expecting a bit more thump to it, but no, it is not very thumpy or very pleasing or anything like that. So yeah, there is a bit of issue with that. I kind of felt that they could have done a bit more base body, base weight, but it is okay. I guess it is okay, no issues with that. They wanted to keep it calm, but in any case, the dynamics are good. I like the dynamics. The details are decent. Clarity is good, but yes, obviously, I was expecting a bit more base body. uh, this isn't exactly that bassy or that satisfying at this point of time. I was expecting the dynamic driver to deliver a good amount of bass. In any case, we move on to the mid range, and the mid range and triple range. There is a bit of issue with this one. The BA driver and the EST drivers are not paired nicely. There is a bit of unevenness to the frequency. Okay, they are not that well tuned, or say well polished. It kind of feels kind of raw, and there is a bit of unevenness. The notes are thin sometimes. They are lacking body. They can be sharp, uh, momentarily sharp. It's not like there is a uniform sharpness or anything like that. There can be a lot of things, but they are not warm. And there is some issue with this cable too. I'll tell you guys about that too. So yeah, there is a bit of unevenness with this IM. I was expecting it to be a lot more fuller, a bit more meatier in this range, slightly smoother too. Vocals are decent. I kind of feel like the tonality and timbre are not that good. Vocals notes lack body. They are, yes, obviously they are thin, dry side. I was expecting them to be a bit more cohesive. It kind of lacks the extra bit of cohesion I was expecting from Kinera, and this isn't bad, but this isn't good either. So that is a big problem with this one. The Verdandi kind of feels it is trying a lot of things and failing at most of them. And the instruments, this is a W shaped IM. Okay, so the vocals are a bit more forward, while the instruments around the vocals are not that forward. They kind of lack the energy, and it kind of feels slightly mushy at those regions. So it is okay, but not okay. The treble, the upper mid and lower treble are energetic. There is no issues. There is no spike or extra bit of energy to be worried about. There is no sharpness or thinness, over thinness, that will bother. So that is a good thing. And if we move on to the treble, it is well extended, no issues with that. There is no extra bit of sharpness or anything like that. There is good amount of energy across the treble, but yes, that unevenness persists, and I do not think that that is very enjoyable. It has to be a bit more consistent. If you cannot make it more uniform and consistent, make it slightly smoother. Smoothness will mask the deformity or inability of delivering the notes cleanly. And Kinera Verdandi doesn't do any of those, and it kind of feels like there is a bit of unfinished feeling to it. There, it kind of sounds raw. It needs a bit more refinement, a bit more polishing. And guess what? I'm using the HipDAC 3, and this one is a warm, meaty kind of musically tuned DAC amp. And if this is not helping the Kinera Verdandi, you guys can guess, you guys can assume where the Kinera Verdandi stands. And if we move on to the stage, it is good. Very good layering, very good separation, very good air between instruments. But there is a bit of issue with the height. I was expecting the height to be taller and a bit more immersive. I am not getting that experience with a $1,200 IM. I was expecting it to be a lot more immersive. The stage was supposed to be bigger, more expanded, and enveloping, engaging, involving even. But that is not exactly the case with the Kinera Verdandi. And I will not say that it is not doing well with the stage, but it is not giving you anything extra that one expect at $1,200. And I will say some $700 IEMs like OH 700 VB and even the Shure EJ07M will do better. And there is some issue with this cable. If you want a bit more warmth, a bit more warmer a bit more fuller notes, do consider the Effect Audio Aries S8W. This one will give you better mid bass, and I like this pairing a lot because it kind of takes off the extra bit of finishing energy, the extra bit of jitteriness that I get with this one, and it kind of smoothens things. It kind of evens out the deformities that I felt this cable is offering, and it has bigger stage too. We get a much bigger, around 20-25% bigger stage. So this is an excellent pairing with the Kinera Verdandi. If you feel that the Verdandi isn't exactly that clean, that smooth, or that musical, definitely go for the Effect Audio Aries S. So this is it. This is my in-depth review of the Kinera Verdandi. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Enjoy.